Oh, here I am. Now say the secret word and the duck will come down on you $50. One time I shot a deer in my pajamas. I got my pajamas I never know. In case you're wondering who I am, I go by the name of J.G. Mox. My name is J.G. Mox. I'm filling in for the multi-voice. After all, this movie I'm going to be reviewing to you today, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than Master of Disguise. Now, of course, I know some of you people think that this movie is a terrible movie ever made, very annoying, very cringy. But believe it or not, Multi-Voice Reviewer, he likes the movie. I know because I am like multi-voice. Oh man, this duct tape really yanks the hairs out of my eyebrows, you know that? And yanks the hairs out of my mustache. Hey, I try my best to disguise myself. Since I can do the voices, I can disguise my appearance. Cause I'm an master of disguise. Look in the front of your eyes. I'm master of disguise. Now you have to admit, this song was pretty catchy. But let's talk about the movie itself that came out around 2000s during the same time when I was in high school. Now, the movie did start out in 1970 when we see not David Bowie, Bo Derek showed up, reprising her role from the movie 10, which I haven't seen that movie because of the nudity and such. Even though it was a Dudley Moore movie, a movie about a guy who fancies this really hot, beautiful woman, but as it turns out, she's not exactly as bright as he thought. I mean, he fancied her over her looks instead of her brilliance. And then we see our bad guy who goes by the name of Devlin Bowman, played by none other than Star Trek fame himself, Brent Spiner. Now, he gets arrested in Palermo back in the 70s. And of course, Bo Derek turned out to be Propicio Disguisi, played by James Brolin, Josh Brolin's father. Turns out that he's from a long line of family who are masters of disguise, and their family name is Disguisi. Kind of throwing it out there, doesn't it? A family who calls himself Disguisi, who are the masters of disguise. What's up with that? But anyway, his father told him that he needs to tell his son about his destiny. But sadly, James Brolin said, "This ain't no life for my son. I'll never tell him about his true destiny." He thinks that his son can have a better life if he doesn't become the master of disguise just like his dad. He's trying to keep him away from, being a master of disguise just like his ancestors. So he runs a restaurant. With his wife, Mama Disguisey, played by the outrageously funny Eddie McClurnge. You know her in tons of movies and such. I mean, she's pretty much the most hilarious gal around. And of course, they have a son who goes by the name of Pistachio Disguisey, played by the main star in the movie, Dana Carvey. Now, I have to admit, Dana Carvey, he is the most hilarious impersonator in the world. And now, of course, I would say that Michael Winslow was one of my inspirations. But when it comes to impressions, he does a pretty damn good impression of George H.W. Bush, and of course, George W. Bush, and of course, among other characters. And of course, everybody remembers the church lady from Saturday Night Live. Well, isn't that special? But this time he plays Pistachio Disguisey, and they did a bit of a backstory. When he was born, the baby tried to slap him and make him cry, spank his bottom, and and his baby Pistachio said, "You slap me, I'll slap you," and slapped the doctor. And then he started mimicking his chemistry teacher until it blew up in his face. And he always has a habit of putting his underwear on top of his head. So he doesn't exactly he doesn't fit into the rest of the group in the world while growing up. So he tries his best to become a good son for his dad and also running his restaurant business. And even though Pistachio, he feels like that there's a whole other world for him to explore, something that he wants to do, but his father says, no, your destiny is right here in this small Italy running this restaurant. And then his mother told him that there's a lady out there, meet him, who goes by the name of Sophia, who is played by the lovely Maria Callas Boria, Barbara. And most people probably know her as the voice actress as Hawk Girl in the Justice League cartoon series. Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. That's right. That beautiful and sexy actress did the voice of Hawk Girl. And while now, of course, he calls her Love Cake, but Sophia, she decided to go easy on him by saying that he's not his type. But the only thing that he's attracted to her is she has a big booty. I guess Disguisey family are attracted to women with a big butt. So they're butt men. Ass men. Now, don't ask me if when it comes to me and women, I am not much of a buttman or breastman. But just like what Groucho Marx would say, I never could turn down a pretty face. So I'm pretty attracted to a woman with a really pretty face, and also, I'm also a legs man. A girl with nice, smooth legs, I'll be head over heels. But anyway, enough with my infatuation of women. Let's get back to the story, shall we? And then there's a little kid who goes by the name of Barney Baker. He crashed his skateboard, so Pistachio he decided to be friends with him by doing the Shrek and Donkey impression. But of course, he sees this little dog, and Pistachio calls him the Cuteness. Some name for a dog, Cuteness. But it's time for him to go, so he went back to the restaurant. He carries a bunch of trays, delivering the food to people. And one of the raiders who work here, named Rex, played by Jay Johnston, he turns out to be a bully. So he tripped him over and dumped all the food in front of the people. And so one night, he was outside taking out the trash until he saw Sophia and Rex kissing. And of course, Sophia told Pistachio the reason why she dumped him because with the funny voices and the silly things he does, she said it was only fun for only 1 second. But she just not interested in poor Pistachio. And sadly, Pistachio got the point. But all of a sudden, a bunch of bad guys showed up and they kidnapped his father and his mother. And it turns out it was Devlin Bowman. You see, Devlin Bowman himself, he got out of prison and he wanted his revenge. But before he'll do that, he kidnaps Pistachio's father to become a master of disguise and steal all the rare antiquities. And every time when he laughs, he always farts. Like, every time when he goes like, and he gets upset with that. But, anyway, Pistachio, he's all confused. He tried to call the police, but they didn't take him seriously. He doesn't even know what to do. And then from out of nowhere, out comes this mysterious guy who turns out to become Pistachio's grandfather, named Grandfather Disguisey, played by the talented actor of all, Howard Gould. Howard Gould is his name. Now, he tells Pistachio that he's from a long line of family of disguisees who are the master of disguise throughout history. And even he also showed him the a guidebook of disguisee, which is a pop-up. Since when guidebooks become pop-ups? But anyway, Grandfather decided to teach him the ways of the disguisee. Teach him how becoming a master of disguise by covering their face to make them look like other people, and of course put on suits to make them look like a fat person. But of course, Pistachio didn't do right. He always keeps failing, and here's one insulting scene where he disguised himself as an Indian. And for the sake of this show, I'm not going to do an Indian impression just for the sake of censorship. But at first he did it with a stupid way, and then he told him that the only way he can use his power of disguise, he needs to engage with this energy called Energico. And all he has to do is to repeat the terms, become another person. 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 Become another person, eh? I forgot my mustache and my eyebrows, but I'm Groucho Marx. That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. Stop becoming another person. Stop becoming another person. Stop becoming another person. Oh. What an experience that is, folks. But now, of course, I don't have Energico, but I do have a certain skills I can do. When I can do impressions, I can switch to one character to the next, and I always know when to shut off when I'm done. Like, I can just go to Bugs Bunny, yeah, what's up, Doc? And then to Daffy Duck, you're despicable. That's me, a devil. Or Sean Connery, I'll have a gin martini, shaken not stirred, Miss Moneypenny. Do I ever tell you to eat up, go to bed, wash your ears, do your homework? No, I respected your privacy, and I taught you self-reliance. And of course, I can do Christopher Walken. No, you're talking my guy all wrong, that's wrong tone. Do it again, I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron, and some cowbell. I got him more cowbell, baby. And also, ha! Hi kids, welcome to Disneyland. Ha ha! Have some fun. You said a mouthful there, Donald. And I can go on and on with my impressions, but let's focus on the movie. I mean the review here, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, since the grandfather taught him ways, but right now he is more like a level 1 apprentice, white belt. So he's more of a rookie. He hasn't mastered everything yet. But he decided to tell him that he needs an assistant. And he meets Barney Baker, and of course, grandfather mistakes them as a baby. And all of a sudden, they meet Barney Baker's mother, Jennifer Baker, played by the same voice actress who did Tiffany the Duck on the Looney Tunes show, Jennifer Espinosa. She becomes the new apprentice to Pistachio. And sooner or later, she's going to become the love interest, even though Pistachio kind of thinks of her. I mean, exactly not his type because she has a tiny little butt, like she has a baby bottom. That she doesn't have a big booty. Oh well. While at the same time, um, the Constitution of the Declaration of Independence, there was this star athlete who goes by the name of Michael Johnson, who showed up to get the Constitution of the Independence, and he ran all the way, and then he says, "Looky here, Bowman," and then turned back into to Papa Disguisey, which is James Brolin. And of course, he's also blackmailing him because where his mother is at, he's at his kitchen. He put some sort of drug in the caramel corn, making her think that she's in the kitchen preparing dinner. And if he went against Bowman, he'll have his men attack her on his demand. Hmm. And then the next day, out comes Jessica Simpson, who wanted the lunar module, which that is definitely Papa Disguisey. Since they discovered what Devlin Bowman is using Fabrizio Disguisey to become the master of disguise of famous celebrities so he can steal all the rare antiquities so he can sell them in his black market. Because that's what Devlin Bowman was good at. He likes to steal very historical, valuable stuff out of museums and sell them in the black market to make money out of them. That's his plan. And of course, now Pistachio, he disguised himself in different places. I mean, he discovered that there's a handmade cigar from the Turtle Club, so he disguised himself as Turtle Man to get into the Turtle Club. Even though it's called the Turtle Club, it doesn't really mean they welcome people who looks like a turtle. And of course, he did that famous line, "Am I not so turtly enough for the Turtle Club? Turtle, turtle." And then he meets Jennifer's boyfriend named Trent, played by Mark Devlin. Oh, Mark Devon. That's his name. And it turns out Mark Devon he's a bully, and he even hated Barney Baker. I mean, he's a real bully. Even though he acts like a nice guy, but he is really awful. And of course, Pistachio, he starts delving into that disguisey energico that he started mocking Trent. I mean, the whole conversation was like this. "Niceness? What are you, his dad? You are trying to horn in on my action, aren't you? You are trying to horn in on my action, aren't you? What? What? Are you mocking me? Are you mocking me?" And oh yeah, and also his father told him that when he needs to deal with the bad guys, it's not a good idea to deal with your enemy by hitting him with a closed fist. You need to slap him to respect her dignity, and that's why he has this slapping dummy man. And of course, one thing he needs to repeat the phrase "Who's your daddy?" during slapping, like this: "Who's your daddy? Who's 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 your daddy?" I mean, I know some of you people saying this whole thing is stupid, but it's amusing. It's funny. I mean, come on. I mean, I would say this movie is a cult classic, to my opinion. But anyway, back to the story. It turns out now that Trent was cheating on Jennifer and he was with Sophia. Gee, this woman gets around, does she? So, now he's ready to fight Trent and remember to keep his dignity, so he kept slapping him, slapping him, slapping him, and slapping him. And of course, Sophia hugged him and said, "I want to thank you for saving me from this horrible person," but he told her to step back. Even Rex saying, "Hey, my buddy Pistachio," but he shut him up. And now he is starting to fall for Jennifer. Now, of course, he did go through different disguises that I even wanted to announce. I mean, he did Al Pacino from Scarface, Tony Montano, but he couldn't say it, so he calls himself Mr. Peru, going like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna party all night, that's it, have fun. Say hello to my little friend. It's from my island, Holakalapata, hata, 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 hoo-yah!" And then he disguised himself as a German guy called himself Kanzler Mueller from the Interpol. And then he plays Swab the name, Toby Swab, Scotland Yard. "This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do. Any questions?" "Yes, you catch along quickly." Now, of course, there was even a deleted scene that involves him playing a character called May or May Not, who goes like, "Oh, hello, I'm May or May Not. I have rare toys here. Very rare indeed. Why, here, the very big yo-yo. Oopsie kadabra, looks more like a no-yo." Wow. But now Jennifer gets kidnapped by Devlin Bowen's men, and they even have her auction off the rare antiquities that he have. While at the same time, Pistachio, he grabbed this orb, and there's a pre-recorded hologram of his father, who's trying to help him, but Barney Baker has an idea. And of course, there's that famous line, "Oh, that's crazy. So crazy it just might work." So he disguised himself as a giant Jerry Pie, and of course, while they were doing the auction, you see Keenan from Keenan and Kel. He makes his appearance, playing as one of the watchers who is watching this black market auction going on. And of course, he summoned a bunch of ninjas, but of course, Pistachio slapped every single one of them. And of course, his grandfather showed up to give him some guidance. And of course, it turns out that Devlin Bowman, he had his father disguise as Devlin, making him think that he is Devlin Bowman. He was planning to kill him, making everybody think he's dead. But now he decided to send him to kill Pistachio. And it turns out that if you go into the Energico so long, there's a dark side to it. And of course, Pistachio said, "There's a dark side like in Star Wars?" But of course, even though his father, who dresses up as Devlin Bowman, was about ready to kill him, he decided to remind him who he really is. So one thing Pistachio did, he pulled the underwear out of his pants and put it on top of his head, remembering all the time that every time when his dad see him with his underwear on his head, he always keep telling him, take that underwear off your head." And then he finally just shook the mask off his face, and now his father is free, and so is his mom. So now The Disguisey family are now together. But there's one more thing they need to do. Turns out that Devlin Bowman got the Constitution, and he's in some tropical island. So, Pistachio disguised himself as George W. Bush. Folks around here call me W, but you can call me King George. That's a joke, son. Now, get ready to take a picture. Who's your daddy? This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do. Any questions? Now, a little known fact, there was a deleted scene, and on the deleted scene, Disguisey disguised himself as Captain America. Now, bear in mind, the movie was made way before the MCU, so this here is just a comic book version of Captain America who has Pistachio's voice. So I guess he didn't go like, this is all a day's work for Captain America. He just was like, this is all a day's work for Captain America. But anyway, to wrap this whole review up, his father is saved, the Disguisey family is reunited, and Devlin Bowman, he was taken care of. So, who's your daddy? Now, of course, there's a lot of intros and the credits and some deleted scenes. I mean, I even remember that. Oh yeah, I also forgot in one of the scenes, Devlin Bowman had James Brolin disguise himself. I mean, they had former governor and wrestler Jesse Ventura himself to show up to steal the Liberty Bell. So there's a lot of certain celebrities who made an appearance in this movie. And of course, a lot of scenes shown, and of course, a few scenes, and of course, there's even Devlin Bowman who talks to his black market dealer, and he even asked him this question: "These Master of Disguise, could they disguise themselves to like Barbra Streisand? Of course. Britney Spears? You're a sick man. The Olsen twins?" Anyway, on the whole, ladies and gentlemen, I know some of you people don't like the movie. Some of you would say it's annoying and it's not exactly a good movie, but to me, it's a cult classic and I enjoy it very much. I mean, it deserves some good praise. I mean, even for a guy like me, sometimes I'm used to the stupidity in B movies. So, to me, it's very watchable. And pretty good for the amusement. Anyway, this is my review for today. If any of you, now, of course, one thing I gotta say, if somebody ever thinks about doing a remake, I would not mind to play Pistachio Disguisey Jr. on Master of Disguise Part 2, or maybe a remake, a reboot of Master of Disguise. Cause I want to be the master of disguise. I'm going to be the master of disguise. I'm going to be enough. Anyway, I'm the multi-voice reviewer. I remember so I can jog your memory.